Okay, I'm going to try to videotape the entire process of taking apart, getting this trim off the T-top. I've already taken it off the first one, and it took me a while to figure out how to do it. So, just for my own information now, so I'll remember how to put it back together in a few months after I got this thing painted. I'm going to videotape the whole process. So, what I'm after is to get the chrome trim off. This is the chrome trim, and it runs all the way around. Okay. Flip it over upside down. This is only held on with Velcro tabs. Pops right off. Okay, that's the headliner, and it's kind of a slick deal. It's those little Velcro tabs here. Let me make sure that that's all in the video. Yep, it's all there. You can see the little Velcro tabs. That comes off. The next thing has to happen is you have to get the weather stripping off, and it runs down the side and all the way around. It's continuous. There's no breaks in it. The only way to get it off is to pry it off and to pull it off, and it comes apart in pieces. I wasn't able to get it off without ripping it up. There was just no way. I tried. What I found to do was just to get underneath it. This is actually coming loose a little easier than the other one did. There's no way to save it. It's glued on, so I'm just going to have to buy new weather stripping. Unfortunately, it's not cheap. It's like 50 bucks a piece. It's like everything else on this car. Pull it apart. There's nothing simple or easy about it. The rubber is just glued in, and there's no way of getting it out without just breaking it up in pieces. There's a little metal tab right here on the corner that's rusty. I'm assuming that that's part of the actual part of weather stripping, because it doesn't seem to be attached to anything else. I guess we're going to find out when I get the new one. But this is the only way I could figure out how to get it apart. Just to take a chisel and get underneath it. Start scraping and prying. Now this one's not glued as bad as the other one was. The other one was a little bit more glue. I ain't being very gentle about this part of it because there's no saving it. I tried to be gentle with the other one, and this is how it came out. Pieces. Are we still in the video? Yes, we are. So. Okay, once you've got that off, the next issue is getting this piece here off. I don't know if this comes with the trim or not, with the new trim. Probably not. It's just held on with Phillips screws with 4 little small screws. They're like a number 12 maybe by 32. There's 4 of them. Close up, that's maybe a 12 by 32. 74, so it's probably not metric. Take these 4 screws out, and they come out easy. I'm surprised. I mean, I don't know if this is the original installation or not, if it's ever been done. It's an aftermarket here, but I'm surprised that they come out as easy as they do. They're a little rusty, but not bad. So putting them back in shouldn't be a problem, and I may or may not order new screws. Nothing wrong with these other than the fact they got a little rusty. They're still serviceable. But here's that little metal clip I was talking about. I'm not sure if this is part of the part of the weather stripping or if it has to be saved. So I'm going to save it. That's what it looks like. I'm not going to go through the process of cleaning this up right now. It's got glue all over it, adhesive. It's got to be all scraped off and cleaned up really good before the new stuff gets put in. So okay, the next part is to get this strip off right here. And there's 3 rivets. There's one here, there's one in the center, and it looks like the one down here, nope, there it is right there. There's one right there on this little metal clip. There's a little clip right here. This is what it looks like. It's right here on the end. So I'm going to drill these out. Unfortunately, I've got to use my big 1/2-inch Bosch here because I don't have my smaller drill with me. It's out at the farm. It's probably deep enough. The other one. Two. The middle one. I have to find it. There it is, right there. It's under the adhesive. These are just soft aluminum rivets. They come out pretty easy. I mean, that one came out a lot easier than the other one did, but okay. Once you got those drilled out, then the next thing is to let me move this over just a little, get a little bit better view there. Next thing is to go underneath here, because this has got adhesive under it as well, which is really surprising, but it does. And it looks like there was a little nut put in here or something. I'm not sure what that's about. I guess I'll figure that one out. I didn't see that on the other one. It looks like the fiberglass here might have been chipped and they fit that in there somehow. But I guess I'll figure that one out. I'm afraid to drill pretty heavy duty on these rivets because I don't want to go through the fiberglass. Okay, that one just popped right off. Well, it's not popping right. There it goes. That's the clip. That's it right there. And it's got a little fold in it so that it fits into that contour right there. So this obviously a left and a right. Okay, once I got that off, I just took my little Wonder Bar here and worked it under the edge. Worked it along, pried this up, get the glue loose. The adhesive, it's kind of a rubbery adhesive, it's thick. And this one here, the rivet didn't quite pop yet. We have to drill a little deeper on it. Let's see. Nope, there it comes. Alright, once the adhesive releases, you can see it's built up under there, and it's still pretty sticky, so that'll all have to get cleaned off and then new adhesive put in. Once that's off, I'm not going to do all the cleanup on this that I normally would do, but I see that there's some damage on the fiberglass here on this one. It didn't have that damage on the other one. It was okay, so I'm going to assume that this had been disassembled at some time and put back together, and this is what those little 12 by 32 or whatever they are screws screw into. They're just kind of set into the fiberglass here, so what I'll have to do is I'll have to reset those in some fiberglass and make sure I get them in exactly the right position. Probably I'll put them on and then sink them with it in the chrome and let it sit and harden up, and it'll put them in the right position. So this will all have to get scraped clean, and I will work on that. The next issue then is gather up these parts so I don't lose any of them. This screw, this fiberglass right here is still intact. It's not been broken down. I'm not sure exactly how it is that they put these screws in there. I guess I'll have to figure that one out, but we'll get that. That I think is a minor issue. The next issue is to remove this last piece of trim here. I'm going to swing this around this way so you can get a side view of what I'm doing. Now what I did is there's little divots right in here that are the crimp points, and it's probably not going to show up in the video. Let me clean it up a little bit, and maybe I can get this the reflection of it to show it. But right there's a little divot, and I'm going to zoom down on that and see if I can show it to you. I don't know how well, maybe a little bit more. Well, it's probably going to be as far down as I'm going to get as far as zooming goes. Let me see if I can locate it with my finger here. Okay, that's not it. There, okay. I'm having to kind of stretch to see that, but right here, I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's a divot there, and that's, they use some kind of a tool to crimp that. I'm probably going to wind up just doing it with a nail set and a hammer to do the same thing, because that really all it is doing is just it's creating a little pinch, and that's what's holding this in. In order to get it loose, zoom this back out. In order to get it loose, I took my pry bar and went underneath at each crimp. There's one right here on the corner. There's another one right here. And I just kind of pry up a little bit. Of course, which is spreading this out a little, so I will have to recompress it when I put it back together. But I'm afraid if I try to just knock this off without relieving some of this crimp pressure, that I'll chip the fiberglass, and I'd rather have to recompress the chrome and fix it as to have to repair the fiberglass. So I went to each of these. Now, see there, it's really tight. I can't quite get in. I have to work it down maybe. And it'd be easier if this was a little finer cut here. If I ground this down a little bit more, and I actually already ground it down some that makes it a little thinner, but I could have ground it down more. See, I can't hardly get in there. Alright, that's in there. And that one too. Okay, that's loose there. Now I'm not sure which is the best way to do this as far as which side, but I'm going to flip it over, because this is how I started the other one. And I just took my little hammer and I got underneath it and tapped it. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's starting to move, and I just worked it along. And you can see it's slipping off, it's coming off. Now I might have been able to do that without putting that little bend in the back on the compression, or where the crimps are, but like I said, without relieving that crimp in there, if it was actually embedded into the fiberglass, I didn't want to take a chance on chipping the fiberglass. So, and this is slipping right off now. Now when I got to the end up here, it just pops right off when I got to the corner. Comes off without distorting it or without damaging it in any way. But like I said, I may have to squeeze that down, just put just a little bit of pressure on it again, just to get that that compression back. But that shouldn't be a problem. It should be easy. But as you can see, there's no chips or cracks. It's all fine. What I'll do then is I'll just clean it up, and I'll scrape off the adhesive because there's some on the corner here. This has got a little bit of a lip right here too, so you want to be careful not to lose that little lip. I think that's probably designed that way so it grips. As a matter of fact, looking at the back side of this, well, there really isn't